you really are able to eliminate problems that people have, okay, they will pretty much pay you whatever it is to fix and solve that problem. Everyone that I called took me up on the offer. And the next thing I knew, literally in a week, I was looking at my bank account at $160,000.
Hi, my name is Vince Reed.
Hey, what's going on? Vince Reed here, and welcome back to the DM. In the last episode, you got a chance to see the awesome yacht party that I wasn't invited to. You got a chance to see my first company, NetDivvy. It was pretty cool, a little bit of success, a great learning experience, and more importantly, you got a chance to see the crazies out there on the internet. People sending me death threats. Can't we all just get along? So if you missed that episode, make sure that you go back and check it out. In fact, make sure that you leave a comment on the episodes, especially if you have questions, because on the recap shows, which you want to watch as well, we dive deeper into a lot of the things that go on, some of the questions that you may have. In fact, I always reveal something that I missed on the episode that might make you laugh or even make you cry. And with that being said, let's dive into the episode. Now, before I get into sharing with you the call I got from the guy I met at the VIP party that absolutely changed my life, it's important that I share with you what was going on during this time. I was starting to get some momentum, and it happened almost by accident. I saw a training, and there was a guy talking about this concept called the invisible funnel. And I didn't think it was gonna work. And not only did it worked beyond my wildest dreams. In fact, I was able to earn $160,000 in less than a week leveraging it. So what is this concept and why did it work? So here's what happened. Imagine that you got to eat at your favorite restaurant, like a 5-star restaurant, the best restaurant. This place is like the place that you take all of your clients to. It's amazing. And they said, you get to eat at this restaurant, order whatever you want, you just have to pay $1 to be able to come in here and eat. Eat whatever you want, enjoy it, and only if the food is great and you absolutely love it, you have to pay us $100 when you leave. So ultimately, that's what the invisible funnel was. So I said, how am I gonna actually make this work? Now, this was during the time where lead generation was obviously getting more popular, and I was diving in deep. I was learning all types of strategies. So I put together 10 different webinars, right? Teaching different strategies on each one of the presentations. And the way the offer worked was this. I said, listen, I put together these 10 trainings. Okay, if you watch these videos, you're going to know how to advertise like a ninja. You're going to be a master. Now, here's the catch. All you have to do is pay $1. I'll give you access to the first training. If you like it, do nothing. Okay, and then you'll get all of the rest of the training, the other 9, and at the end, it'll bill you $99. That was the simple offer. And I was blown away. Not only did literally hundreds of people pay the $1, almost no one canceled. Everyone essentially went all the way through the process, allowed the $99 offer to take place, or essentially us to bill them the $99, and we had all of these people essentially taking me up on this offer. So here's what allowed it to scale. What I did was I called all of the people that essentially got billed, that paid the $99 for all of the webinars, and I said, how would you like to have this entire process and go out and market it to other people? I'd ask them, I said, did you get value? They were like, oh, this was awesome. I can't believe I only paid $99. I said, well, if you pay me $500, you essentially can license this entire system, go out there and sell it and earn 50%. And in fact, I'll call all the people, just like I called you, who essentially pay the $99, and I'll make this same offer to them, and I'll split that with you 50%. Everyone that I called took me up on the offer. And the next thing I knew, literally in a week, I was looking at my bank account at $160,000. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Why didn't you just keep doing that? Well, the problem was I built this entire process with a Band-Aid. I mean, it wasn't on the proper system. In fact, I started to implode. I was the only one taking the calls, and it was wild. But it was able to get me my first instance of success and taught me that there was literally something to having strategy when it came to making money online. So now that things were starting to roll, I started to get some people reaching out to me some of the heavy hitters in the digital marketing world started to take notice, and I got the call that changed my life. The call from the guy at the VIP party. Literally called me up and he says, hey, I want you to speak at my next event. Now, the guy at the VIP party at that time, if he would have asked me to speak at his event, it wasn't the same thing this time. You see, now it's several years later, and this guy is big time. He's making literally millions of dollars a month, and he's having these massive events. And I agree to speak at his event, and it's crazy. I go out to San Diego to meet him, and I remember I walk into the hotel. And I got there early, and I see him literally in the lobby. And that shocked me because I'm like, why aren't you in your room? I walk over to him and he says, hey, I'm putting together a presentation for an offer that I'm gonna make at the event. I'm like, well, what's this offer all about? He's like, it's a $50,000 offer. And I was like, wow, $50,000 offer? And he was putting it together. He's like, yeah, I just got started. I'm like, when are you gonna make this offer? He's like, tomorrow. I was blown away by the fact that it was $50,000 and the fact that he was putting it together a day before people were going to be at the event. So anyhow, I go there, I speak at the event. It was awesome. It was my first time speaking to a good group of people. It was probably somewhere between 30 to 50 people there, and it was awesome. But these were heavy hitters. These were people that were, making money in their business. But the thing that I will remember the most from that event was the fact that I realized that if you really are able to eliminate problems that people have, okay, they will pretty much pay you whatever it is to fix and solve that problem. So I witnessed this guy, the guy from the VIP party, basically make an offer and make $300,000 in 15 minutes. And that right there, that very moment, the reason it changed my life was, one, it broke down ceilings and it changed my limiting beliefs that I had of what was possible in short amount of time. And I realized how the $160,000 that I made was so real and so easy, but that number, like for example, if he would have come to me and said, I'm gonna show you how to make $500,000 in a half hour, I wouldn't have been able to believe it unless I saw it. And that's why I'm here to tell you right now, the numbers that you think are possible, I want you to scale that up like 10 times because it is possible as long as you have solutions to people's problems. So I get back from this event and things are rolling. I have this newfound confidence. I feel like I have a path and a vision of how to make money. I know what I need to do. And then I get the message from the GOAT, my mentor. And he proceeds to tell me that he is setting up the biggest affiliate launch in the history of digital marketing. And he was not lying. He went out and he recruited the very best affiliates, the very best business owners. He was recruiting people that were selling systems similar to his. And he was like, listen, we are going to try to break records and I want you to be a part of it. I want you to be in this affiliate competition and I want you to place. I think you could potentially be in the top 5 or 10. And I remember when he said that, I'm like, top 5 or 10, I want to win this thing, right? I was extremely motivated and excited. And then he started to tell me about the prizes. He started to tell me about all of the things that he was going to give away to individuals that placed in the top 10 of this affiliate competition. And it started with the mansion party. And I couldn't help but go back to my vision of opening up that email and seeing the yacht party. But this time, it was gonna be a mansion party. He had just got this like 20,000 square foot home in San Diego. It had this amazing pool where people could like swing from these things and dive into the water. It was awesome. And he said, everybody that finishes is gonna be here at my house and we're gonna party and we're gonna have fun. And there was no way that I was gonna miss this. And then on top of that, there was all types of money and cash prizes. And then you got VIP access to his next event. So the event that I was at where I went VIP style, where I met the guru on the wall, he was having part 2, the second annual event. And he said the people that finish in the top get to go VIP style to that event. And I said, I have to be there. And I was focused and I was ready to go. People are going crazy. Everybody wants to be at this mansion party. Everybody wants the cash prizes. Everybody wants VIP access to my mentor's next event. and people start recruiting people. People start forming teams, literally affiliate teams, or they were gonna like basically band together and sell this one info product to try to win. I felt like I was back in high school getting recruited by like all of these colleges all over again. And it came down to a few different people that I was gonna join. And at this point, I knew that there was no way that anyone was gonna win by themselves. They were gonna have to be part of a team. And I ended up going with the guy that called me, the guy I saw at the VIP party, the guy that was making it happen, and the name of our team was called the Underdogs. Everybody loves a good underdog story. And the reason I wanted to be part of this team was, one, I had so much respect for, the guy that I met at that VIP party. I just had watched his business. He did exactly what he said he was gonna do when I first met him. And he had an idea and a strategy to essentially win this thing. And I felt like, hey, if we could beat some of the other people that were in this, I'm telling you, we were going up against a who's who of marketing. And if we were able to pull this off, we would make a name for ourselves, and it would be pretty awesome, right? So what he said to me is like, listen, this is what we're gonna do, okay? We're not gonna have as many people as the other systems. We're gonna go after essentially 10 to 15, really strong marketers, and everybody is gonna pool their products together. We're gonna make it where if they buy the product from us, then they'll get additional bonuses from everybody on our team. And that's exactly what we did. So we started doing massive webinars. I remember we did a webinar and it was like 5 hours long. And it hung at about 500 to 600 people the entire webinar. Now this is, years and years ago. So the amount of people on was not a normal thing. Today, it happens a lot, but back then, have that many people and hold for 5 or 6 hours was crazy. And the entire time, you're just seeing sale after sale after sale after sale. And then what happened was the email came out to share what place we were in. And I remember our name was at the bottom. We were number 8 or 9. We were like, man, we're only number 8 or 9, and we pushed all of this type of traffic. And it just kept going and going. And I remember we were spending money running ads, doing webinars, and slowly but surely we started to creep up and up and up the leaderboard, where when my mentor would start to make these videos and make the announcements, it was almost like this new team, the Underdog, no one even knew who we were, are beating all of these heavy hitters and all these major systems and all these marketers that at the time who had the biggest list. We're up there. And finally it came down to the end. There was 3 of us left, and we were number 3. And it was time to announce the final winner, and it came out. We were so excited. And at this point, I was pretty cool with it because I knew we were gonna get all of the major prizes. We probably, to finish anywhere in the top 3, the only thing you got less was maybe a little bit of cash, but you still got the mansion party. You still got, the VIP access to the event. So I was happy, I had reached my goal, but at this point, I really wanna win this thing. So it comes out and there's this big countdown of when the email is gonna come out. The email comes out and we finished second. Now, rumor has it that we really won. I have never been able to get the true story, but there's rumors that the person that they gave it to, and if I said this person's name, you'd definitely know who it is, they had to give it to this person because at that time, that individual had never done a product launch, had never used the internet, had never exposed his audience to any type of offer. So they were all eating it up. And to beat that individual would have caused kind of a stir in the industry. But I believe he really did win because recently I called my mentor and I asked him the question. He never would give me a straight answer for many years, and he said that that person actually did win. So kudos to him for winning, but I'm still proud of that moment as I will never forget that launch. And that launch forever changed digital marketing launches forever. It wore people out. When it was over, everybody was happy because, our list was sick of getting those emails, and I'm sure our mentor was tired of us calling him, asking him who won. So now it's time to hit the mansion party. My days of crying, staring at my computer screen, and everybody having fun on yachts and all the gurus banding together and me standing there wishing that I could be in their presence, it's here. It's time to have fun and it's time to go. I get there and I remember I got this new car and I parked it in the front and I felt so good about myself. Everyone would come in, they'd say, whose car is that? They'd be like, it's Vince's car. And it was just this crazy weekend of just meeting people that I had only seen online And it just made it all real. I mean, you definitely are who you hang around. And at that moment, my circle that I once had became a new circle of literally millionaires. And if you hang around millionaires, you're going to make a lot of money. In fact, you're going to be uncomfortable if you aren't challenging them. If you come with some BS and some limiting beliefs or some comment that essentially you can't do something and making a bunch of excuses, they're gonna let you know in a second. They're gonna go, get out of here with that nonsense. We're about making it happen. And that was a big change in my life. Now, at that time, I saw what could happen when you have a good product, when you have a great network. I saw the things that people were willing to do to win this affiliate competition, to sell these products. And I learned from that launch. I'll never forget that. And if you look at a lot of the big launches today and the big companies, I think that, if they were around during that time, which a lot of the people that are still having success today that were back then, I think they learned from that launch as well. I took something away from that, the ability to connect with people, to help them, and then position yourself to where you've got that one favor to say, hey, just like my mentor called me, I'm coming out with something that's gonna be the greatest launch in history. I want you to promote it. Literally, when you connect with people that have big lists and you give them value, you kind of get that. And I remember I put that in my back pocket and I said, what I'm gonna do now is at this party, I'm gonna go around, I'm gonna focus on them. I'm not gonna talk about anything that I'm doing, and I'm gonna figure out how I can actually help them. And I remember I would do guest webinars with some of them, and I just tried to do my best to support them. And little did I know, when I needed them, they were definitely there to help. So I leave the mansion party. It was a great time, but now it's time to get back to work. And I started to really plot my next move. And during this time, I remember I stumbled onto this ad, and it was this guy named Adam Horowitz, and he had a product called Mobile Monopoly.
Hey, what's up? My name's Adam Horowitz, and welcome to Mobile Monopoly. I'm extremely excited you're here right now. And what I'm actually going to show you some live proof behind me on the computer here of what I'm making with mobile marketing. And
essentially, what the product did was teach you how to run ads on mobile apps. And I knew at this moment in time that I wanted to be the lead generation guy. I didn't want to be specifically focused on one type of platform, but I did want to be known for the guy that comes up with the newest and the latest ways of generating leads for your business. And I saw it immediately. Like most people, you didn't have to be, a rocket scientist to see that mobile was going to be the future. And at this time, this is when people were playing all those games on apps all the time, and then these ads would pop up. So he taught that there was these little ad networks that you could, sign up with, and you could place little banner ads on these mobile apps. So when people are playing games, they see like the mobile app ad, they click on it, and then you can drive traffic to, your landing page and build your list. And I did it, and it absolutely exploded my business. I started getting all these leads. I wasn't necessarily teaching people how I was doing this yet, because I always want to make sure something works before I teach it, and it did. So I started teaching people like how I was doing this, and then that started to grow. And then I knew at that very moment that there was something to mobile, but I just had to figure out my unique method to bring it into play into my next business venture. So I remember I was laying down, and I was excited about just the whole, running ads on apps, right? But I was like, I need a product to bring this all to light. I need to figure out a way to take advantage of what's going on in the world right now. And it just happened. I remember I stood up and I'm like, hold on a second. Everybody that has a business has a website. What if every person had their own app? And I remember I went into the App Store and I tried to find individual apps. And there were a few people that had their own app. So it would be like, for example, you go into the App Store and you type in Vince Reed and my picture comes up and you could download my app. I'm like, what if I could get every person to have their own personal app? And I said, that's what I'm gonna do. So like crazy, I started calling all these people I know, and I'm like, how can I figure out a way to build a personal app? Why aren't people's apps in the App Store? Because at that time, it was just businesses and games, right? So I find a couple people, a few friends that are playing around with building apps, because back then they had this software that allowed you to build apps quickly. And one thing led to another. I call up a buddy of mine out of Vegas, and he goes, man, I think what you have is a great idea, and I think that we can help you actually create these apps. I said, when's the next flight to Vegas? So I jump on this airplane and I fly to Vegas, and I head right to my buddy's office, and I walk in and I'm like blown away. He takes me into this office, and there's these people there developing these apps. But at the time, there are like a couple different types of apps, and this guy has his own app in the App Store. Now, he didn't think of it like how I'm thinking about it right now. He just developed apps, and they had built him an app. And what he wanted me for was he knew that I had the power to actually market it. So we decided to create a partnership, and literally one flight later, I had an app manufacturer. So after I solidified the deal, I remember I was exhausted and excited at the same time, because it was one of those things that I knew that if I could pull this off, it was going to be an extremely profitable business. And the whole concept was simple. Everybody could have their own personal app, and when people would download your app, it would be almost like you generating a lead, because with an app, you could do a push notification, and instantly that notification would pop up on the end user's phone, a new way of generating leads. So I went back to my hotel room to just think about what had happened. And when I'm walking out of office, he goes, "Hey man, you should go out and have fun. You're in Vegas, enjoy yourself." And I'm like, "Man, I don't really know where to go in this town. It's pretty crazy." He's like, "Hey, call this guy. His name is Mr. X. He'll take care of you."
Access granted.
I call this guy up and he goes, "Hey, meet me at XYZ Club at midnight." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, at midnight? I can't back out, because if I back out, he's gonna let know I gotta go." I go to the spot where he tells me to meet him, and he walks up and he goes, "Hey, are you Vince?" I go, "Yeah, that's me." And I remember he goes, "Come on, let's go." And I remember thinking, there's no way he's getting us into this place. Like, there are people waiting, people that are buying bottles. I'm not here to buy anything. I'm just trying to just get my mind off of it and have a little bit of fun, because at this point, all it's been is work, work, work. And man, was I blown away. We walk up. It's people upon people. It's a crowd. This man parts the Red Sea. We walk right in. They lift the rope, close it, say, "Hey, Mr. X, he's with you?" He goes, "Yes." He goes, "Don't say anything, just walk." We continue to walk through. He takes us through a side door. We get up to this open area. It's his private VIP area. He goes, "Awesome, man. Have a good time. Anytime you're in Vegas, hit me up." I go, hold on, man. Wait a second. What the heck just happened?" And he just has this smirk on his face. He goes, "You got in the club? Have a little bit of fun, enjoying yourself." In fact, come here. He walks me over. He goes over, he points at the lady at the bar. He goes like this. She comes over, and he just goes like this too. The girl brings me 2 drinks, and he goes, "Enjoy yourself. There's your drinks. Hit me up every time you're in Vegas." So I go, "Dude, this is just too much. Here, let me just tip you." I remember I gave him some money, and little did I know that by simply tipping this guy and meeting this guy, that a guy that I would meet, totally not expecting anything, would have a huge effect on my business. But more on him later. So during this process, we're trying to get this business going. We're finding all these hurdles. We realize that getting personal apps into the App Store is not easy. Android, they're accepting the apps easily. Apple, not so much. For example, we submit 5 apps to Apple, 1 gets approved, the other 4 don't. Submit the other 5 to Android, all of them get approved. And my offer that I was gonna make was, hey, you get this personal app with us, you're gonna get your app approved in Apple and in Android. So long story short, flights back and forth to Vegas. Me and my buddy are getting extremely tight. We're so excited about this idea. I have the perfect launch strategy, and I started to, think about some of the things that I could do to make this launch as powerful as the last affiliate launch that my mentor had. And we started to figure it out, and we got it down, and it was time to launch. But before I could launch this amazing company, I had to head out to San Diego to attend my mentor's big event, the second event, Unstoppable Millionaire 2. So I'm in San Diego, and I'm at the event, and I couldn't help but step back and think about how quickly things can change. A few years before that, I would attend events like this, could barely afford to be there, would sit in the back of the room and watch all of the gurus have fun, to now I'm literally in the room with my mentor before he's about to go on stage, talking with him at his big event. boy, had things changed. So day one of this event is awesome, learned so much, a lot of marketers come in, and it was cool because one of the presenters at the event was talking about, lead generation and apps. And, at this point I had kept quiet my new idea in terms of creating this app company where people could build their own personal apps and have their own app in the App Store. In fact, on day two, I remember I was at lunch and this guy comes up and he was blown away by one of the presentations on lead generation in terms of mobile apps. And he was talking about how he was starting an app company for businesses. He felt that every business needed an app and not just a website. And I thought it was awesome. Like, that's really cool, man. Businesses definitely need apps. And he was telling me his launch plan and how he was planning on building it. And then I said, you know what, I'm actually doing the same thing. He's like, hey, what are you doing? I'm like, yeah, man, I'm starting an app company, and we are going to create individual apps, personal apps for individuals. We feel like everyone has a social media page. Everyone has, a website. Why not have your own personal app? And it could be used as for business, almost like a business card. And, when people download your app from the App Store, you could just do push notifications and connect with all those people. And he was blown away. He's like, man, I never thought about that. That sounds really cool. I'm like, yeah, man, maybe we could connect and help each other out. And we left it at that. We shook hands and we were on our way. So I remember, I was running late because I always like to go to actually all the sessions at events. I know a lot of people go and they hang out more in the hallways, which is cool. But I actually like to hear the presenters because I can learn from what they're teaching on stage and obviously pick up new nuggets, because it only takes one piece of information to add another $100,000 or $1 million to your business. So I get into this session and it's getting ready to start. And the guy that's hosting the event comes on stage and he says, hey guys, I have an amazing announcement that I want to share with you. Someone is going to do something really special for all of us. And I look up there and it's the guy that I was just having lunch with. And they bring him up to the mic and he goes, hey guys, is everybody having a good time? Everybody goes, yeah, we're having a good time. He goes, well, listen, I want to do something really cool with you. He says, I believe that every individual should have their own personal app. And my company is starting a company, an app company, where we're going to build these personal apps for individuals where you can generate leads and do push notifications and push information right to anybody who downloads your app. And I want to build one of these apps to everyone at this event for free. I looked up on stage and I remember thinking to myself, no, he didn't. Did this guy just literally steal my idea? Thank you guys for watching. I hope you got value from this episode. Make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Later.